Good morning. Wow. It looks like a sky from Pixar film today. It looks beautiful out. Let's get some coffee. Alright, let's have some good Felder's Black Silk. Coffee, banana, and Cheerios. The perfect breakfast combination. Good morning, guys. It is July 7th. And yes, it is 9:45 in the morning. Honestly, today is going to be kind of a boring-ish day. We have to go ahead, finish clean the downstairs to get the streaming area set up fully. But other than that, we don't have really much on the agenda for today because we're trying to save on the fuel for our upcoming trip a bit. Now, I did want to talk to you guys, okay? Because overnight, a comment came in that to many streamers and YouTubers in general, it could be perceived as offensive, okay? And invasive. Well, not to me. Because truthfully, my life is out there. Plain and simple. Every day I create a video. I create a story. I show off what we do. No matter what it is. Okay? And I do it just for fun. If I make a little bit of money doing it, then I do. But if I get a view, then I do. But I'm not going to go chasing AdSense revenue by going to trends, going to algorithm views of what the algorithm says. No. I do what I want because it's my passion. And I've publicly stated that. But let's get into the comment from overnight, okay? Here we go. And this one here. How do you guys afford to travel, eat, and budget as unemployed for such a long time? Is it easy to receive benefits in Florida when not actively searching for an income? Let's get into that because that's a loaded two-parter. Alright, let's go ahead and let's get into things, okay? Because we got quite a loaded question here. Alright? Let's go with the first part. How do you guys afford to travel, eat, and budget as unemployed for such a long time? Simply put, we had savings built up from back when I was working. That's the short answer of it. And over time, it has dwindled down. It has gone back up a little bit because of income tax return. But then went back down because of life and bills. And it sucked. Now, on to the second part. Is it easy to receive benefits in Florida when not actively searching for an income? No, it's not easy. And in fact, you can't. So, in Florida, you have about a month or so to actually find work or self-employment work. That is another part of what you can do, okay? Or a volunteer duty to keep your benefits going, okay? So basically, that's to the second part. Now, let's go ahead and get into the personal side of it, okay? So, about 3 months ago, we got a letter, okay? And it said June will be your last month of getting food stamps. And we're like, why? And I called them up and I asked them, hey, what the heck is going on here? Oh, yeah, you didn't go to a workforce interview. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you had a workforce interview and you didn't go to it. And I said, yeah, I know I did. And it wasn't until June or so for that workforce interview. And like, yeah, they said that they recommended you for termination. It was like, yeah, but my appointment wasn't even up yet. So how could I be? And they said, oh, well, you can just reapply. It's already been done. I was like, oh, for criminy sake, okay. And then they say, oh, well, you can also appeal it. Yeah, and if you know anything about Florida DCF right now, they're backlogged to heck. But let's go ahead and let's get into the first part again, okay? As far as affording different things, okay? It's also sacrifice. We have had to cut back on so much of the unnecessary, okay? What you guys don't see, okay? Let's just say that we go to Magic Kingdom and we buy Lily a $13 fish meal, and we have a couple of $6 fry baskets, so basically there's $20 right there. Behind the scenes, okay, we will have a certain amount of money budget for when we go out, okay? And that's also how we go ahead and go about it. And when it comes to travel, let's just say, okay? Well, gas, Disney World is less than a half an hour away from us on a good day. On a bad day, 45 minutes. So we can go there and back pretty quick and efficiently. Okay? We have a Ford Focus, so we don't actually spend that much in gas, and it's pretty darn good on gas mileage. But essentially, that's it. And honestly, I know that if you ask a lot of YouTubers this question that are unemployed and everything, they're not going to answer. But I hope that this at least clears some stuff up for you guys. Because truthfully, I'll be honest with you. I quit streaming because of two reasons. One, I liked storytelling of vlogging more. I like being able to get a camera out, tell a story about how we did our day, and I loved it. And I enjoyed it. But I also switched over from streaming publicly because of another part. I saw a big shift in how streaming has been going over at the parks and at other places, where streaming has become more like homeless begging at the parks, where everybody just wants to go ahead, put out their hat, and say, please join my paid membership. Or in their description and in their comments, in their chat, will continuously say, don't forget to donate. Donations at PayPal address. And I've seen some that have Bitcoin wallets. I've seen some that have Venmo, Cash App. And honestly, I find it pretty despicable. I'm not gonna lie. Because you guys know me by now. I don't hold back. Not at all. I feel like if you can go to the theme park and you want to stream, then cool. And if you get a donation in by not even asking for it or anything, that's all the more power. Because that means that you put on a good enough presentation, a good enough entertainment value, that somebody did something nice without you asking. And that is a true friend. I don't think you should be going there to ask for money. That's my opinion. That's why, as my savings dwindled, I had two choices. You either become the villain that you despise, or you go ahead and you become the hero that you want to be. I chose to become the hero I wanted to be. And that was figuring out a plan B. And that is talking with previous companies, seeing what options I have, and then going ahead and also putting together a plan with Tiffany on how we can accomplish things. But if I became the villain that everybody else is, then I would lose a piece of my own soul. And I didn't want to see that happen. I didn't want to see myself go into a theme park, constantly asking for a membership in voiceover or in chat through a bot, or asking for somebody to donate to my Cash App for me walking around. That was the other part of it, the financial aspect. And it's not cheap to run it either. $80 a month for a streaming phone plan that's actually good quality. Then you got gear. But don't worry, you can wishlist your gear too, where people can go ahead and buy you new gear and use an Amazon affiliate links if they want to go and buy it for themselves, so you get some money back. And that's cool. But I just feel like there's way too much begging at the parks when it comes to this. If you want to go walk around downtown Orlando or Philadelphia or New York and put that in there, that's cool. Because you're in a public place. You're not in a private area that is only accessible to a very upper middle class and to wealthy people. That's just my thoughts. And if your thoughts are differently, that's okay too. Because we're all allowed to have our own opinions. And that's what makes things great about the society we're in. But guys, the other reason, and I've said before on why I went over from streaming to daily, is because my kiddo. My daughter's 20 years old. I want to spend and give her as much quality time when we're out. I want to be able to put down the camera and just enjoy that. So the financial aspect wasn't the only reason, but I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say that it wasn't the biggest one. I know. Some of this is hard to talk about. But truthfully, I don't have a problem with it. So now that we got that phone call taken care of, guys, I just want to say thank you for that question, okay? Sir FVDED, thank you. And truthfully, we knew sooner or later somebody was going to ask that question. And in fact, Tiffany and I, we talked about behind the scenes quite a bit. And we're like, I wonder if anybody's ever wondered that, of how we do it. Well, there we go. And honestly, Universal wasn't in our deck of cards, because we took that $1,000 and we used it for an additional month of half of our rent. That was it. Yeah, not a big surprise. And what else we did is, like, if we wanted to go ahead and get a new piece of equipment, we figured out how to do it. This sucker here. Another Action 5 for Tiff for when she goes out and does her stuff with us. Streaming phone? Gone. Data plan for it? Gone. Kept the phone number, but also the 2 gimbals that weren't even working anyway? Gone. Money used was on that. But yeah, that was our entirety of what we did. But I'm happy with our choices. I'm happy with how everything has been going on. Because really, at the end of the day, you have to live with the choices you make. And though they may not be the right ones, and people may not understand them, you still have to live with them. Now, I'll be honest with you. a few months ago, I got a job with Universal. Okay? It was in the security department. Okay? It's all public. I've put it on the channel before. And I dropped it. I dropped it because I was stupid. Okay? I was told by the company that does substitute teaching that, hey,
like and subscribe.
yeah, we're gonna be able to get you in, you're gonna be able to work and everything. Unbeknownst to them, the state of Florida decided, hey, we don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jan to be substitute teachers. So we need to do more thorough background checks. Well, that took even longer. And that sucked because it wasn't until like the last week of frickin' school nearly that I was finally able to get in and work a day. Yeah, I hated that part. But I'll tell you something, when I got that paycheck from that day of working, that was the best frickin' $130 deposit I have ever gotten in my bank account in the past months. Because it was an honest, earned wage. And I loved it. I did. I loved it so much, and it made me want to do it more. And truthfully, that's why behind the scenes, yeah, I got the school coming back up, substitute teaching, but I'm also in talks with other companies too about employment opportunities. Because truthfully, I put out our AdSense numbers. You guys see them. And in fact, I'm about to be releasing last month's, June's. And the only reason I haven't so far is because we've been busy with everything else going on. It's just been crazy over here. But I want to get back. I want to do what I did before. I want to be able to earn full money. And my goal was, go ahead, earn the money from, let's just say, AdSense to use to pay for trips and stuff. And then use our regular income for bill money and to replenish savings again. That was my goal. And that's where we're at now. But guys, let's go ahead. Let's get downstairs. Let's do our job down there. And let's get things going. Truthfully, it's a beautiful day. And I'm happy to live in it. Alright, so this was as of last night how I left it, okay? Cabling. We did a lot better over here. We got all the AV cables done. Everything looks as tidy as possible. Look, that's pretty darn good compared to what it was. This is all the actual audio video cables for the switch up here. And we actually have a couple of switches, okay? No, we only have one actual Nintendo Switch. But let me show you what I mean. We pull around to the front here. Okay? We have an HDMI switch, and then we also have an AV switch. It's an 8-port, so you get all the game consoles. But yeah, we went ahead, we went with dual webcam, two 4K Brios that we've been using. We got this one here that's going to be pointing downward and slightly at us. And then we got the overhead shot for when we're actually doing standing up games. And if you move out this desk, which you can at any time, you move out the chairs, we got a pretty nice room area for actually doing games. And not to mention this right here has our keyboard and mouse set on it and can easily roll as we need it. And later on, we're going to go ahead and invest in an actual wireless setup for the keyboard and mouse, but that'll be later on. But overall, I am happy with how things are turning out so far. But yeah, I do like that we got the Lego set properly done here. This is my water from like last night. So yeah, I do like how that we got the Lego set right here proper. We got everything that we need. I love how this area has turned out so far. It's really cool. And then we are looking at charity support to go ahead and get rid of that mattress. But other than that, that's basically it over here. Now, one of the people in the comments actually also said about, hey, your webcam, are you going to be whitewashed when you go ahead and do the actual streams? Well, a lot of our streams are at night. But even now, we got that open, okay? Let's go ahead, let's fire up a stream quick in just preview mode and see how it looks. Let's do that. Fire up Streamlabs. Widgets are dynamic, interactive overlays you can add to your scene. Cool. So, as you can see, Tiffany, can you do me a favor and come sit down real quick? Let's go ahead and get our beautiful stage actor to go ahead and sit down. Just in the... There we go. As you can see... Now, touch the Lego set. As you can see, Tiffany is not washed out at all. Actually, she looks pretty good, and she has a nice natural aura of light around her. Alright, it is 11:43. I was just relaxing, playing a little Mario 3 until Tiffany came over and turned it off, saying we have to get going. We got quite a bit done over here. Some of this is garbage, some of this whole Funko Pops, stuff like that. Some of this paperwork that has to be disposed of properly. But yeah, so basically, here's what we have to do now. We're going to go ahead, go over to the hospital, go see my mom, who was actually admitted last night because she was having dehydration issues and also AFib issues. So we're going to go see her. That's going to be off camera. And then after that, then we got to go over to Publix, figure out what we're going to do for lunch. I have no friggin' clue. And then come home, eat, finish up this mess behind us, and then we can go from there. Today's actually been a pretty good day so far, and we've gotten a lot accomplished behind the scenes, but you know what? I am getting a bit hungry. Oh, and one more thing. We do actually have an Amazon package coming in today because one of the AV to HDMI converters upstairs that we actually use for my personal area, unfortunately, died on us. So we actually had to replace it. And it was like $10, so it wasn't bad. And I got this clip a little 20% coupon, so I was happy about that. But guys, let's get going. And let's go get some lunch after we go visit Mom. Alright, let's get going. Alright, it is 11:52. And let's go ahead and let's get going. Alright, let's go in Advent Hospital and go see her.
Oh my god, I hate these fucking elevators right now.
Language?
Why this one? They better take us to the first floor. I'm not joking. Oh dear lord.
Come on, you got this.
Oh, hey, me. Come on.
Well, that was a nice visit. But now we gotta get going over to Publix. Lil, are you doing better now?
Hi. Hey, hi. Hi. Hi.
Alright, it is 12:35. Let's go in and let's get our lunch. Whatever it may be. So now at $10 for a pizza, you gotta decide, do you get pizza pie or do you get an Italian sub?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same price actually.
Yeah, it is. Alright, let's go ahead and check the ingredient first.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. Good, no sucrose, no stevia. You know what? I think I'm gonna get a little bag of plantain chips to go with my sub. That sounds actually pretty good. Should I do naturally sweet or garlic? I think I'm gonna go garlic. Oh, naturally sweet also looks good. You know what? I'm gonna go garlic, yeah.
Bugger, I guess.
Although they have this on BOGO, so guess what I'm doing? Get rid of plantain and I'm going toasted. I think what we'll do is we'll do one veggie and we'll do one honey barbecue. Hey, I got one veggie and one honey barbecue. And so the beautiful rain comes at 1:30 now. It's amazing how gorgeous it is. Got the beautiful sunlight beaming through and the nice rain. I love it. Nothing beats the smell of the beautiful rain coming down. And just like that, at 2:09, the rain is gone and it is back to the beautiful skies. That's why, honestly, don't buy a poncho at the parks. As soon as you buy it, it's gonna be over with more than likely. That's what I learned. Go ahead and do Colombian coffee by Folgers for an afternoon cup. A little pick-me-up. While Tiffany goes in and takes a nap, I think I'm gonna go downstairs, finish up the chase, and then play a little Mario or something. And just relax a little. I am going to enjoy my coffee.
Yes.
I'm going to play a little Nintendo downstairs.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to clear off more of the chase.
Yes, you do that.
But you go ahead and have your nap. Relax.
Lily went down for a nap too.
So if Lily takes one, you get to take one?
Mm-hmm.
What are we? Toddler privilege?
Pretty much.
Huh.
Actually, that's like newborn right there.
Okay, so before I can go ahead and do my fun stuff, okay, and take care of the downstairs of finishing cleaning, I had to go ahead and redo that application with DCF, okay? And I thought, okay, cool. You know what? I'll go ahead and do it. Okay, so that way we can get things reinstated. Alright, and I figured out some things that I needed to change on the application anyway. And I'm on the part about Ryan's vehicle. Let me show you. Tell us about Ryan's vehicle. It's an automobile. Is it registered? Yes. Does Ryan have access to it? Yes. The Focus is worth about $2,500. Will a part of the value pay for future burial costs? That is on a DCF questionnaire application for food stamp and Medicaid. Will a part of the value of the car pay for future burial costs? Honestly, I hope I outlive the Ford Focus. That is my goal at this rate. What is the primary use? No, it's not as a home for work. I guess it would be to make money delivering, driving, ride-sharing, or other services. Yeah, because I've done DoorDash. I've done Uber Eats. There we go. Does anyone own property? No. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I got that done. That's in the works now. I can't do anything as far as like universal employment goes of applying with them again until tomorrow. I do it until after July 7th. And that's okay. But in the meantime, here's the other thing. And Tiffany was asking me about this, okay? Ryan, when you go ahead and you apply for Universal again, do you have to go ahead and do just security, or can you do something different? I told her, yeah, I can apply for anything, but it's whether I have the background necessary to get into that role. Because a lot of jobs like this here, they don't want somebody, let's just say you're doing a senior analyst. They don't want somebody that's never done a junior analyst position for a company. They want somebody that's done junior analysts for an amount of time and can take that experience and deliver it to them with prior knowledge. And that's cool. Like, for instance, I'm not going to go ahead and apply for a master seamstress of doing sewing when I haven't even done junior sewing. But it's stuff like that. And I liked the idea of the security part. I really did. I thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be pretty cool. And honestly, it was really awesome sounding. But I'll tell you something. Back in January, when I got laid off, I was stupid, okay? And it's easy to look back in time and go, yeah, I shouldn't have done it that way. You realize all your mistakes that you made along the way, okay? And one of them was back in January when I got laid off. What I should have done is I should have gone ahead and made the moves to go ahead and get Lily on the bus at that time. Because here's what I found out from researching LinkedIn, from researching all sorts of places. A lot of companies that are hiring for remote IT support, okay? It doesn't matter if you're just a level 1, unless you're really high up, like in your specialty, like network engineering, are trying to pay them between $17 to $20 an hour to answer the phone, reset a password, or help with a printer connection, and that kind of simple stuff. When I was working with my previous company, with DLRT by Spectrio, I was making about $20 an hour, and then with overtime, and we also got a stipend bonus toward our internet bill of $50 each pay period. And I thought, man, this is great. I was making like nearly $60K plus in some times because of the overtime and everything. And I thought, man, this is awesome. And one of the things is that nobody wanted to work Saturday. I always did. I always took the Saturday shift, and everybody knew me as the Saturday guy. And I maybe had like 4 or 5 phone calls, okay? But I was making that kind of money, of $20 an hour plus overtime plus benefits, about $60K a year, a little over that. And then after that ended, I kept looking around, and I kept seeing all these low balls of 17 to 19 hour. I was like, what the heck is this crap? And then I started to think, were we just severely overpaid for what we were doing? Yeah, we were specialized for automotive consultation requirements, like, let's just say a computer for that repairs a car broke down and you need to figure out the software of it. Yeah, we were experts in that, but anybody over time can become an expert in that. In fact, we actually brought one guy over and he slowly learned it and picked up on it pretty good. And he was a great guy to work with, although we did butt heads at time. But then I started to look around, and then I saw some job postings that were like ridiculously high, like $75K for a level 1, which is your basic entry level. And I was like, there's something up with this. And lo and behold, a day or two later, it would be flagged and gone. But at that point, I should have known, okay, this remote work philosophy is slowly going away. There's still some, mind you, but it's slowly going away because there's a bigger push to return to office now, because the companies that own those leases on the office buildings and those floors in those big towers, they want to get the most of their money. They do. So at that point, what I should have done is had Lily get on the bus and started my path elsewhere. Instead, I was stupid. I went ahead and then I went with another small company that was basically a sales role, but with dead leads. And I was like, really? No, this isn't working. This is dumb. I'm getting hanged up on by people that you already ticked off and PO'd many times over. So why should they even talk to me? Heck, I couldn't even get half of them to tell me about their experience. They didn't even want to do that. Because I thought maybe I could overcome that objection that way. But no, couldn't even get that. But at that point, then I had the idea about creating Orlando Cyber Guardians, of doing my own stuff, and then I could work it that way. And that was an interesting idea. But ultimately, I decided to can it because I realized it would take way too much runway money to ramp up to actually get somewhere. And one of the guys on another channel that I hosted for a little bit before just merging them was right that I would just be chasing leads again. And I decided it's not what I wanted. I wanted to get it to do something. So one night I applied for Universal Orlando. A month or so later, I got a request for an interview in a group session for security, and I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. This is. And then I started to listen to a lot of people around me going, hey, what about Lily? What about with her school? What about with the bus? The son should have been taken care of. Now you're kind of like not really going to be able to do that because they don't do the buses slate of sign up. I was like, oh crap, you're right. Okay. I'll drop Universal. I'll keep eating into more of the backup reserves, and here we are today. And now we got the bus situation taken care of. The channels are merged. I know what I want to do. I know that I've gone away with the whole streaming concept because I prefer a storytelling atmosphere. And that was the direction that Tiffany and I wanted to go. And I think that, yeah, tomorrow, apply with Universal. See what happens. See even if they want to do anything further. If they don't, they don't. If they do, awesome. But here's what I figured out too. So everything does happen for a reason. You don't know what that reason is at the moment. You don't know anything. You don't understand it. But at the same time, it does happen. And then once you try to go to that point again, maybe you've already figured out this is where you're meant to be. So it will make you happier. And I think that's where I'm at mentally. I know now I'm not meant to be at a remote IT, okay? I figured that part out. And I know where I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be in the school system helping to basically teach the next generation. And that's what I figured out. Now, I figured that out when I did the ESE class, and I just had a blast with that. And it was fun, and it was so inspirational. Yeah, what's interesting too is that the pay is actually more than if you go ahead and you do the universal. But at the same time, I was thinking, okay, you're going to have times when you can't actually go ahead and do substitute because of break periods that the kids have. What do you do then? You can't go out and constantly drive the car around and go ahead and Uber Eats, DoorDash, because God only knows soon enough you're going to get a flat tire, you're going to go ahead and get in a car accident, something is going to happen. And then the insurance company is going to look at you and go, hey, not our problem, buddy. Good luck to you. So that's where I was thinking, okay, let's go ahead and let's do an application of Universal. And I can go ahead and structure my schedule with them for a few days a week because they're only part-time, and that's great. And then the rest of my time during the work week, the Monday to Friday scheme, I can do a couple days of substitute teaching. That way I can get my time in with substitute teaching while earning the money for my subject mastery exam. So that way when the next year pulls around, I can go up to a school principal and say, yes, I have had a year's substitute teaching experience. I am DOE certified, and I would like to go ahead and teach this subject. I have the experience. I have the rapport with the actual administration, because over time you'll meet these administrators. And in fact, the last time when I went to that middle school over there, okay, before I left, I handwrit a actual note over to the teacher. But that wasn't good enough to me. Then after, when I got home, I went ahead and emailed off a letter over to the principal as well. Basically thanking him for the opportunity and saying how great the experience was. Because I wanted to build up that rapport, that really nice approach. That way that people get, oh, hey, yeah, I heard about that guy. He's pretty good. I think that you make a great teacher. That kind of setup. And that is also how you get into different jobs as well. And I'll say something because I see it all the time on Facebook. Mom and dad are on Facebook because little Timmy or Jenny or Susie needs to get a job. So mom and dad, oddly enough, are the ones on Facebook telling the community, hey, my son, my daughter needs a job. My only question is, why isn't your own appropriate age child doing it themselves? Like, really, if you have a 17, 18-year-old that wants to go and get a summer job, they should be on the internet talking to go ahead and get in for that job. Especially with these small mom and pop businesses. It's a great way to show an introduction that you, the young person, wants to work. Not mom and dad are forcing me to get a job. Otherwise, geez. The other thing would be I would have Tiffany on Wintergarten Ranted Raved going, hey, my husband wants to get a job. Instead of me going on there and saying, hey, I'm looking for work. This is my qualifications. And this is what I'm great in. And somebody could say, oh yeah, hey, we got this open. Or hey, I know this may not suit you, but at least it's something, and it's construction for roadwork sign holding. See? There we go. But no, to circle back to the beginning of today's video, yeah, I'm not afraid of working. In fact, I want to, and the savings are dwindling down. And it was at the time that I initially thought that everything would be ramping back up by now. But what held me back, to be honest, what I really think held back was two key issues. One, that I just didn't keep a hold of Universal when I had it. And two, I didn't realize, honestly, how low the wages are out there. I really didn't. And honestly, before this, when I was IT administrator over at my old dealership, I was making $58,000. And I was getting quarterly bonuses. I was getting all kinds of stuff, overtime pay. I was really doing great over there until they sold the dealership, which sucked. But there comes a time in everybody's life where you get knocked down, but it's how you pick yourself back up and what you do after is what makes you the person that you're going to be in the future. Very few people are ever just going to be born and go straight to success. It's not how the world's going to work. Except for the very, very few. And even then, they too will eventually start to have problems too. It's just some of the things I've been thinking about for quite a bit that have been weighing down on me. And it's nice to be able to get them out occasionally too. Because everybody says about the great positivity. Yes, there is. And I am positive that right now I am in the down slump and I'm still going step by step up the stairs back to the top. And if you're in that same position, it's okay. It is. Because eventually, you two are going to get back up as well. I'm going to tell you something as well. Okay? I'm also in YouTube support groups as well for growing creators. And one of the people in there was talking about how they weren't getting views and everything. And she was monetized, but she wasn't getting the views, so she was thinking about quitting. And then I simply said to the effect of, it doesn't matter what the opinion of a few people in this group are. If you're going to do YouTube, do it for fun. Don't do it for views. Don't do it for money. Do it for fun. Because that will divert into the passion of it, which will make it better. And then eventually the views will come. And she actually said back with the same language. Let me pull it up quick. Yes, my actual thing was, you shouldn't base your decision to quit making videos on a few opinions. Stop caring about the views and just do it for the fun, or don't do it at all. It's simple. And the person replied back, "It's honestly easier said than done. Hard work is put into editing and uploading. Plus, I do love what I do. I think that everybody who starts a YouTube channel wants to be monetized and eventually make it a source of income, hence being in this group. Plus, if it's a full-time job bringing in money, you can make even more and better content." Now, this was my reply that I got a like on, okay, including the top one where I got 3. And she got a laugh at hers. Okay? I have a channel for nearly 10 years now. Low views, and I don't care. Instead, I treasure each one that watches, plus I do my own editing and enjoy the process of learning. If you're doing this for the dopamine hit from likes or monetize, then you are doing it for the wrong reasons. It should be because you want to do it for fun, and when it's not fun, then quit. That means that if what you're doing as your hobby, as whatever it is not fun for you, don't do it. Your life is pretty short. Do something that is fun for you, something that brings you enjoyment. And a person named May said, to be honest, that's what I do with everything. To be honest, with streaming and uploading, it's best not to worry about the views because they'll come when they do. It'll feel way more stressful, worry about it. That's why I just post for fun. And I said, if I get a view on a video, then I do. But if I don't, then I don't. Then it's not the end of the world. And I don't chase trends or algorithms, but instead I chase my own passion and desires. That is how I stay in my lane and enjoy what I do. I did public live streaming for a while, but after a while I missed the storytelling, so I switched to the daily vlogging and love it. We still do streams at home for activities like Legos and games as family, but I love what I do and every view I get I am grateful for, as it's someone's time, which is the most valuable resource. And I have said that many times over to you guys, that your time that you give me is your most valuable resource. And then the original poster actually responded as well. YouTube doesn't have to be for fun. It is a creative outlet for me. I wouldn't do it if I did not like it. Contradicting much? Maybe. This is your opinion as to why you do YouTube. You cannot project why people do YouTube videos. Alright, this is where I had to learn to shut my mouth. Okay? I had to learn to shut my mouth at this point. Getting paid and doing something you love is what people are wanting to do in my generation. You seem a bit older, so your outlook on it is different than ours. I know a lot of people my age that create content and don't do it for the money. They do it because it's a fun passion for them. I know a lot of people that are younger than me. I've talked to them in groups that also do it for the fun, not for the money. There are many people that start out because they want to do it for the fun. That is what YouTube is. It's for fun. And when you make it something fun, it becomes something interesting. And then if you make a few dollars off of it, then you do. And that's cool. And that can feed back into it. But if money is the reason why you are doing it, it's going to become a job and it's going to become a miserable experience. And eventually you're going to hate it. And I bit my tongue as hard as I could when I typed, "I respect your opinion and I do wish you the best of luck. But if it's fun for you, then that will project into your creation and do better. I leave it at that. Good luck." And look right above me. and I see a sign. It's a framed piece of art that I found on Shop Goodwill a year and a half ago or so. And every time I contemplate on different things about the family, about life, about whatever it is, I look to that. Let me show you. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. It's true. If you're trying to live someone else's life of making a bunch of money on YouTube, and you're not doing it for your own fun, for your own passion, you shouldn't be doing it. I'm carving my own path. I know we've taken many lefts and wrongs. Eventually, we're gonna make a right hand turn onto Easy Street eventually. But for now, it's gonna be paved with hard work and hard labor, and that's okay. Because I know eventually we're gonna get there. That's for sure. But it'll take time, because everything that is worthwhile takes time in life. And right now, every second of your day today, you are molding yourself for what you're gonna do 10 years from now. Because if you start setting yourself up for success now, in 10 years, you're gonna be doing better. I can promise. Unless there's some weird out of control issue that occurs, like another pandemic, but for the norm, yes, you'll do better. Start setting yourself up for today, not tomorrow. That's my best advice I can give after years of going up and down. Alright, I know that Lily is awake. I know it's 3 o'clock. I have a chase to clean as well. I have a beautiful girl upstairs who may not be taking a nap because of Lily screaming. I don't know many moms that can actually take a nap when their kid is screaming, no matter what age the kid is. I think it's like a motherly thing. Let's go ahead and check on Lil for a minute. We've done what we needed to, and we had our talk, which was really good. Thank you. I really did enjoy it, and honestly, you guys are all amazing. All the support, all the love that we get from you guys. And if there's ever anything you want to know, I don't mind telling you. We don't mind talking about things. Because honestly, that's how we get along. That's how we built our stream. We didn't build it by having 100 different moderators criticizing every single word that somebody says. We built it by having fun and a relaxed environment. And that's what made things wonderful. And I get that you don't get that anymore from other streamers. Many of them are so locked down that if you even utter one wrong word, you're instantly banned. And I'm sorry for that. I'm also sorry that you have to feel like, with a lot of them, that you have to give your money because you're requested every 5 minutes. I'm sorry for that too. And if it's not that, then they also want you to send them packages through the P.O. Box system too. or buy them stuff from their Amazon wish list. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know what? I'll say it. Because it was in a deleted clip before, but you know what? The modern streamer at Disney World, in my personal opinion, is no different than a homeless person at the street corner going up to your car and asking you for a few dollars. That is what the modern streamer at Disney World has become. With going and walking around and posting messages in their chat constantly saying, don't forget to donate. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's not what it should be at all. You should be not expecting or asking for the donation, but if somebody wants to willingly, without being asked, then they can, and that's cool. Streamers need to do better. They really do. And it's quite sad. Because honestly, you want to talk about what Walt wouldn't want? Walt Disney would not want somebody in his park begging other people for money. That is what Walt Disney would not want. So every time a streamer says that's not what Walt wants, when they say about a ride going away or an entire land going away, going into his park and begging for money is not what Walt would have wanted. I'm going to leave it at that. And if anybody wants to clip that, you can. Because I think it's the best way to put it. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's check on Lil. Now let's go ahead and finish cleaning before I get my butt whooped by Tiffany for not getting that chase done. Well, at least I got the DCF application done, and I checked in on Universal to see they still had a security officer role. And I drank like 3/4 of my cup of coffee, and I got to talk to you guys. So hey, that was actually pretty cool. We did quite a bit. Let's go check on Lil. And thanks for everything again. Honestly, every time you guys view a video, every time you like one, every time you share one, that means more to me than you ever will know. Because every view I get, I treasure so deeply. Whether it's just for a minute of your time to breeze through the video and find a part that interests you, like walking around Frontierland or whatever it is at Disney, or at home of speeding through till we go to Publix or Walmart, and that's what you like to see of what the grocery stores look like here, or you like to see our narrative of the day entirely. Thank you. I genuinely really appreciate that. But since Spaceball 2 is coming out in a couple of years or so, I think that I need to go ahead and do a Spaceballs reference. There's this thing about living. I like it. Let's go check in on Tiff and Lil. And then we gotta get that chase cleaned. Oh man. I will tell you though, the number one best thing that I bought this year, besides the other Pocket 3 for Tiff, which I think is an amazing camera, has to be my MacBook Pro. That sucker's been everything for me, and I just love it to death. I really do. It's an amazing freaking laptop that is so perfect. And I remember back in the day when a laptop was just a freaking brick for word processing. You didn't even get Windows on some laptops back then. Instead, you boot it up. It went right to a blue screen word processor. And I thought those were the coolest freaking things. Because you could hit that backspace button and not have a weird erasing mark on your paper. That was cool. But yeah, let's go check on the girls and then clean up the mess. Let's do it. So let me ask you a question. What kept you from actually sleeping? I have a theory that whenever a mom hears their child yell just slightly, doesn't matter if it's happy or sad, instantly they can't sleep.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of true. My ears are always open.
Aha.
That's never gone away, no matter how old she's getting.
I know. So, I checked Universal Orlando. They still have a security officer role position open.
Okay.
And I also did a new DCF application. Okay?
DCF?
Yeah, food stamp, Medicaid, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll see how that processes out.
Okay.
But other than that, I think we're pretty good. Tomorrow, I'll work on the IRS stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, I have to do the chase still.
Yeah, that's fine. You got the other stuff done.
Oh, thank you.
I still have the vacuum. Give me my phone. Alright, come on.
Yeah, we don't want to see what's under the blankets.
I'm wearing my pants. Oh man, I'm tired.
Your head looks chunky.
Yeah, I need some more.
Like,
Nah, I have a headache.
okay.
I actually do.
Hold on. I don't think you have a headache. You see, I'm your WebMD doctor.
I take an ibuprofen.
I don't think you have a headache. I think you have a flat out migraine.
Yeah, actually, I probably do.
And yes, there is a difference. It's basically a more intense version of a headache that can knock you out entirely.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they do. Okay, I'm up.
20 minutes later. There you go.
Thank you. Yes.
We're on the edge of our seats waiting. Will she drink it or won't she? She did. Hey, short girl.
Like and subscribe.
How you doing? Do you want me to spend quality time with you?
No.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Should I go bother mommy?
Yeah.
Now say go.
Go.
There's my girl.
I'm terrified. It's itchy.
So what are we watching? Funny ice skating competition.
I just my hat. I not it.
But Tiffany, the internet has recognized that you have a problem. You have remodel disorder.
Hey, anybody would have that problem if they realize how much stuff a child has in their room, and you have to make it look as clean as possible.
Sweetie.
No, but seriously, I do have problems trying to organize a room to the point that I'm trying to make it look not so
Cluttered?
cluttered, yeah.
Claustrophobic?
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now, but it's not that bad. It's more organized now than it was before. Yes.
You started to rearrange her room, didn't you?
I didn't move anything around. I don't know what you're talking about.
In the words of Ricky Ricardo, Tiffany, what did you do? What did you do?
I just switched the TV and her anime shelf. It looks better now.
Sweetie, you have a problem.
Yes, but I wanted the TV closer to her.
You need help.
Now she can see better.
You need help. I'm going to open a new website called Remodelers Anonymous, where you can go and just do a fidget spinner style game where you pretend to remodel a room there. And we call it therapy, and we put a ton of ads on it. There you go.
No, go ahead and look at it. It actually looks pretty decent now.
Hi.
Hi.
Alright, so yeah, I see how she flipped them. Do you like how Mommy changed it?
Yeah.
Should we let Mommy rearrange your room again?
No.
Okay. Lily has said you're not allowed to rearrange her room again.
Yes, I know. But she does like what I did.
But you have a problem.
Yes, I do. I'm always trying to figure out how to make it better.
Sometimes you make it worse. Sometimes you hurt your own self. Sometimes you break something in the process.
Yes, I know.
I love you.
I love you too.
If you want to rearrange something, you could rearrange the chase downstairs.
Thought about it, actually.
And then you got overwhelmed, didn't you?
Yes.
Like, what the heck do I do with all this junk?
It's all your stuff. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay. Just got our Amazon package. Basically, old school ABN here. Output on the other side, HDMI. And then you got USB power. On the side here, you can choose 720p or 1080. But yeah, this is the most bought one. It was like $9, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. Worst case scenario, it's not good. I can just send it back. Alright, we got our connections made. Let's go over to HDMI. HDMI 1. So we have a couple of things it could be. One, we have to check the yellow cable on the back of this. That could be it right there. Okay, so interestingly enough, I confirmed HDMI 2, HDMI 2. I do actually have the NS on. I'll go and switch over to PS2. Could we? Are we gonna get something? No. It's like it's trying to get an audio first and then go video. Interesting. Got the speakers now plugged in. Nothing. And I know what you're thinking, hey, did you check the HDMI cable? Yeah, actually I replaced it, the other one, with a known good one as well. Just to make sure. Still nothing. Darn. Back to the drawing board I go. No, it couldn't be something as simple. Let me try something. So it was not as simple as plugging the cable back in after undoing it. Alright, it was not as simple as just unplugging the cable, plugging back in, hoping for the best. So I'm gonna go with a known cable that I know works to a game system. Bypass and switch. I know this game system is properly plugged in. It is a PS2. It should be instantly detected. It is not. That's weird. You know what? I have a way to go, an idea. Give me a second. I want to try something without driving myself too crazy. So tucked behind the actual Wii in the bedroom, we have another one of these adapters. Let me go ahead and turn on some light here. There we go. Yes. I have another one of these adapters that's up here. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. And see if there's something weird over here that's causing this not to work. This is a known adapter. I know that it works good. So we shouldn't run into any problems. One idea I've had is if the 5-volt adapter I'm trying to plug into is not enough, but I highly doubt that. Because 5 volts should be plenty. Keep in mind, we are going PS2 directly over. All right. I see it like it wants to go ahead and try to kick over, but then it doesn't. Okay, here we have an official Razer power brick. This Razer power brick is typically meant for their actual gaming tablet. We're gonna go and try it on the system here, because I wonder if the culprit is actually this power brick.
Away for nothing, did you?
Huh?
You didn't throw the old dock away for nothing?
No, that was different.
Okay.
Okay, we need to do... I'm doing a mental sanity check. Right, it's trying to detect device. Mental sanity check complete. This sucker works over here. Okay? Take a look. Here it is. Working. There's our adapter. Working. Yes, I even have a Wii up here. I have game consoles everywhere. Like, she has a remodel problem, I have a game console problem. We actually just got done selling off a few at a garage sale, remember?
Yes.
Okay, so we now know that adapter works. Okay. What can we go ahead and do to go ahead and see if the HDMI cable is bad? What can we use that can go ahead and test that? Well, we have a couple of ways to go. Take the PlayStation 5, bring it downstairs into the lower area here, or I have an easier way to go about it. Are you ready? I could just take my MacBook Pro. It's got HDMI on it, and it's battery powered too. And will you look at that? We have the MacBook Pro connected to the monitor through this HDMI cable. So we know now it is not the HDMI cable, it is not the adapter. What else could it freaking be? I'm at a loss unless, and I doubt that it's because of the HDMI transmission signal, because it's a newer cable. Yeah, it says about the whole 8K stuff, but this is a pretty new spec cable. It's not one of the older, like, HDMI 1.1s from back in the day. This is a newer cable. It is so new, it could do a MacBook Pro from this generation. Tiff, do you have any idea?
Nope.
Are you at a loss?
I wouldn't even begin to even know what you're doing.
Okay, so basically, the retro adapter that takes the old yellow, white, and red that we used to use on the AV cables from back in the day, it takes it and converts it over to HDMI. Okay? Just like it is there, okay?
Yeah.
How it allows the Wii to connect up. And we use it downstairs too, the technology. What in God's forsaken name is going on here? It's not working here, but it works over there.
The monitor?
See, I thought that, but the monitor is also allowing for the other stuff. For a MacBook Pro to connect, so I know the HDMI cable is working. The only thing I could think is some weird HDMI programming on the monitor itself, which you could be right on. Because, for instance, you can change DisplayPort to 1.0, 1.2, 1.4 on the monitor.
Something on the monitor is not allowing it to connect to the cable that you're trying to use.
I'm going
Everything
crazy.
else is working fine. It's your monitor.
Yeah, but the monitor.
Have you tried the other monitor?
I would have to rerun a whole new cable.
Well, I'm talking about like a solution where you can only just test it, not like hope.
No, you don't understand. All of our cables are like wired in hard. She's right, everyone! She is. The Mac Mini. The Mac Mini is HDMI. We use HDMI for the Mac Mini. We can figure out a way to rig it up here. That could work. That could work. Let's test it. This is interesting. Now the new adapter is working. So we gotta figure out what makes this monitor on the right different than that one on the left. Okay. This is gonna be a long drawn out battle. And it's 7-Eleven. Good place to go get an Arizona tea, but not right now.
It works.
Okay, so that's interesting. Now it's working on this monitor here. Here's the real test. When I turn on the PlayStation that I plugged into the other HDMI, what's it gonna do? There's nothing. I think I know what's going on here. I think what's happening is HDMI 2 on this monitor is defective. Yep. Because I know the PlayStation works. I know that for a fact. So yeah, we have a defective HDMI port on the left monitor from what I can tell so far. Now, when it came to the dock, okay, the dock was not connected via HDMI. It was actually connected DisplayPort to DisplayPort. So that's why I know that's not the issue with this part here. And that's how I also am hoping they're not connected. But then again, I tried DisplayPort over here. Nothing happened with that dock, so that's how I knew that dock was ultimately a goner. Alright, back to the main issue at hand. The monitor with HDMI. I'm not gonna worry about replacing a monitor over that. Trust me. Besides, it's like an auxiliary fun area, so at least I know what the heck is going on. On one hand, I threw away a perfectly good adapter. On the other hand, we also have a monitor that's now defective on one of the HDMI inputs, so we'll figure that out later. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start getting ready for an outro for today, and then edit the video and then go from there. Yep. Let's do it, guys. Today has been a great day because we got to go ahead and talk, we got to go ahead and catch up, we got to go ahead and do a few things that we needed to, and we got to accomplish a lot. On the other hand, we found out that HDMI 2 on my left-hand monitor is dead. If anybody has any ideas, I'm all ears to trying it. Just to get you a heads up, I did update to the latest firmware as well. And you cannot downgrade firmware on them. Other than that, I can't think of anything else to try. And I don't believe you can reinstall firmware on these either. But that's a problem for another day. Guys, thank you so much for being with today. And honestly, it's been a great day hanging out with you, as always. I know today was more about a lot of talking, a lot of getting stuff done that needs to be done behind the scenes, and answering a couple of questions from you guys. And then I also went ahead and I gave my viewpoints on a few things too, some which can be a little controversial, but you know what? It's okay. You know, it's my opinion and people don't have to agree with it, and that's okay. But guys, thank you so much for everything, and I hope you have a good night. Now go get some sleep while I do, because honestly, it's been a long day. I want to try something stupid and crazy quick before I let you guys go. Hang on. What are you doing? What you eating?
Peach.
Look, just don't look at me right now, okay?
What are you doing?
You've heard of How to Train Your Dragon? How to annoy your wife in 30 minutes or less. The time it takes for Domino's to deliver. Boy, that campaign didn't last, did it?
No. That's lots of speeding tickets and accidents.
Yes. But just don't mind me, okay? I'm not doing anything. Alright. Mario on 50-inch. I think we have accomplished every child's goal that grew up back in the day. You know what the funny part is?
There's no sound.
Oh, there is, but keep in mind it's like copyrighted, so. No. No. No! No, actually what I was gonna say is that you see the lines a lot more closer.
Like and subscribe.
But oh my god, the freaking latency is so freaking good. It's incredible. Man, that was fun. But guys, it is time to go ahead and end the day. Relax. I'm going to play a little bit more Mario on a 50-inch TV. Something that little old me on a 20-inch TV could only have dreamed of. Heck, we thought 32 inches was big back then. I hope you have a good night. And honestly, if you got any ideas about the monitor, let me know. I'm all ears. But I gotta go ahead and try to stop Bowser now. Have a good night.
But I'm